Welcome to the first section of the Learning Microsoft Azure video course provided by Pact Publishing, in which I want to walk you through the introduction of the Microsoft Azure Management Portals. In this section, we're going to take a look at the Microsoft Azure Portals, giving you a quick overview and showing you some other tools that are available for managing the Azure platform. Let me start by first exploring the Azure Portals. Azure has existed for about 7-8 years now, and it all started with what's now called the Azure Classic Management Portal. Connecting to the Azure Classic Management Portal is possible by browsing to manage.windowsazure.com. Maybe you're new to Azure, or you're just starting using the new Azure, which is called Azure Resource Manager, and you'll find out that there actually is another portal. This one is reachable by connecting to portal.azure.com. So yes, quite important to know, there are two different Azure portals available today. When you open up the Azure Classic Resource Portal, it looks a little bit like the screenshot here in the PowerPoint deck. On the left-hand side, you'll find your different Azure sections, allowing you to browse through the different Azure resources, like web apps, virtual machines, SQL databases, Azure Active Directory, or basically any other Azure resource. Whenever you select something in the Azure Resources menu, it will open up the details in the middle, which is called the Detailed Items section. This can be a list of virtual machines, a list of web apps, Azure Active Directory components, and again, depending on anything you select in the left-hand side. On the top right-hand corner, you have your user profile, from where you can see some detailed information regarding the logged on user account, and it also allows you to log out in a secure way. Underneath at the bottom of the window, we have the action bar, allowing you to execute certain tasks like creating a new virtual machine, creating a new website, or what have you. On the right hand corner, this is called the notification error area. So depending on the activities you're going through, it will give you real-time feedback using the notification area, showing you alerts, warnings, or even just giving you an overview of the data that's being processed, like for example when you're deploying a virtual machine. When we have a look at the new Azure Resource Manager portal, it looks a little bit different, but overall the Azure concepts remain the same. On the left-hand side, we have the Azure Resources menu, which again looks different from the one in Azure Classic Resource, but it shouldn't be that difficult to find your way around. Again, if you select anything from the left-hand side, it will open up the details in the middle Detail Items section, which is now called a blade in the Azure Resource Manager portal. In the top right-hand corner, you still have your user profile information and logout options. The action bar has now also moved up to the top, making it a bit more clear to navigate. The notification area I talked about in the Classic portal has also moved to the top, showing you notifications, allowing you to search for already deployed Azure resources, or modifying certain settings from the portal, like changing the colors from blue to black, or even jumping over to the Help menu. So, with that short explanation about each portal, I'm going to start with my first demo, walking you through the different Azure portals. Obviously, I'm going to start with the Classic portal. So in this one, I'm logged on to manage.windowsazure.com. As you can see, I have my Azure resources here on the left-hand side, and by selecting any option in the menu, I can jump over to the Details section in the middle, and for example, creating a virtual machine, or directly connecting to the action bar, from where I can execute certain tasks, like deploying a new virtual machine, where I just need to complete a couple of parameters in the fields, executing the virtual machine deployment task, and Azure will start creating this one in background. In the exact same way, I could go to Web Applications, from where again I can create a new one, still having the same look and feel as the previous approach. Selecting my web apps, entering a couple of fields, completing the creation task, and it will start executing the creation in background. Up here, I have my user profile, from where, for example, I can view bill information, or even opening up Microsoft Azure support, and some other options we have available. So in short, it's pretty intuitive, but as you might experience, it looks a little bit outdated. And that's why we have the Azure Resource Manager. Now, obviously, it's not only because of providing a new portal, because Azure Classic architecture is a lot different than Azure Resource Manager architecture, but more on that in the next coming sections. Now, overall concept of Azure obviously remains the same. It's still Azure. It looks a lot more modern. The portal is a lot faster to load, and it allows you a lot more customization. So from here, for example, if I select a virtual machine, going to my action bar in the top of the screen, I can add a new one and then confirming the creation. If I select Windows Server, confirming the creation, it will ask me for some parameters that need to be completed in the details section, which again we now call blades, and this will allow me to deploy my virtual machine in the exact same way as I showed you in the classic portal. From here I could jump over to the application services, selecting to deploy a website, or basically any web application using the marketplace to deploy pre-configured websites, so it's all again pretty easy to navigate. And then in the notification area, it will tell me information, provide me feedback regarding the deployment, or overall about my Azure subscription. Like in this scenario, I'm using a trial subscription, so not a lot has happened here so far. I could start searching for already deployed resources. So all in all, it's a quick overview, a quick walkthrough of the Azure portals. And with that, I would like to end this first video, inviting you to the next one, where I will walk you through some other tools allowing us to manage Azure platform besides using the Azure portals.